Hey peeps, it's your girl Nicole. Welcome to the Health Nut Nicole channel, and today we're going to be doing just kind of a sit down talking through video. I've always wanted to do one of these. I don't know, I'm still really excited about making a YouTube channel, so excuse me if I'm just really excited. So I want to talk today about my diet, and do not get triggered by the word diet. Diet simply just means the way that you eat. Everyone technically has a diet because we all eat, and it is simply just a word to describe someone's eating habits. But before I get into this, I do want to say just a quick disclaimer. This is the way I eat, and this is the way I feel. This is how I feel the best. I don't want to give this advice or even really talk about it without you understanding that not everyone is going to feel the same on this diet or this way of eating. Before of course, you try anything new or even research anything new, just make sure you get some professional help and asking your doctors if this is okay, making sure you're in a good place before you try anything new. Just wanted to say that because everyone will react to things different, and you may feel just as good as me on this diet, or you may feel absolutely awful. It really just depends on your body and how you, your genetics. So just wanted to say that before I go on to the rest of the video. So how do I eat? I am on what is known as the GAPS diet. And you may have never heard of it before. It's honestly not a very common thing. I don't think I've ever met anybody else that's tried this diet other than myself. I also live in kind of an area where health and wellness isn't really a huge deal here, so that's kind of a thing. But what GAPS stands for is gut and psychology syndrome. It is actually, or was created to, I'm not sure who it was, but I can't remember the name. I will link the resources down below of how I know this though, so you can get the stuff for yourself. But it was created essentially for people who had things like maybe autism or ADHD or any other mental illnesses that you kind of have to live with for the rest of your life. And what this diet does, it just helps those people to come back into a better headspace, if that makes sense. I know that sounds really strange, but your gut is actually very much linked to your mental capacity and your emotional health. And so when you eat right and you eat this way, it can help reduce a lot of the negative symptoms of these things. And so you're probably wondering, why the heck am I on it then? Since I have none of these problems. I'm on it because I knew that because diet affects your mental and emotional health, it could also help things like your hormones, and it could help my skin issues, which are hormonal and I think a little bit of food sensitivity based. And so I knew that if I tried something like this might actually help my body digest food better and help with my skin issues. And so I was on it faithfully for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years, I think. I think about 2 years before I ended up going through a difficult time in my life, and I realized that I was tired of the diet, thinking that, my emotions were more important, which, I mean, at the time, we go through phases, and I kind of went off of it and gained some weight and also just felt absolutely miserable. Now I've been back on GAPS for maybe about a month or two, I think about a month-ish, and I feel so much better. And it's just because I put my eating habits, I try to help and change them, and I'm still working towards being even better, and it's helped my physical, mental, and emotional health immensely. That doesn't mean I don't have bad days, but I do have a lot better days now. So what the heck is GAPS then? So basically the point of GAPS is to maximize your digestive health, and what you do is you make sure you eat plenty of probiotic and prebiotic foods. You try to drink broth every day, although I'm not as faithful as that, but broth is really high in collagen and gelatin, which are proteins that can actually help, of course, your muscles, but also improve your digestive system. Eating plenty of good fats and eating lots of protein. And but the main thing about it, while it sounds all very normal, being on full GAPS almost is like eating, it's just eating regular whole foods, but the difference is you don't eat any fresh dairy, any type of processed foods whatsoever, and you don't eat any grains. And that includes things like oatmeal and rice. Really anything that resembles a grain, you don't eat it. So essentially I'm also gluten-free as well. You can think of it gluten and grain-free. So why on earth would you not eat gluten and grains? I don't necessarily believe in eating gluten or grain-free unless, of course, like I said earlier, your body feels better when you don't eat these things. Some people don't really notice a difference whether they eat those things or not, and so eating those things doesn't harm them. They can digest it fine. A lot of people are like this, but then you have people like me who possibly have had just in certain times of my life, I've taken antibiotics and other things that may have messed up my gut a little, and so it's harder for me to process those foods as often as we Americans, since am an American, as often as we eat those. And so it just kind of helps to get rid of these things for a good while before you introduce them back in. But essentially what gluten and grains are they are a complex, or they're a carbohydrate, and also some of these are very starchy, so like rice is very starchy as well as a carbohydrate. And so it can be harder on your digestive system than other foods. Vegetables and meats and fruits and things like that are a little bit easier, depending, of course, how you prepare them. It's all very complex, and like I said, I will leave the links down below for some books and resources for you that might help you understand what I'm talking about better, because I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I just know from personal experience why this works really well. Another thing that you do is eat a lot of probiotic foods. So yogurt, which I know I mentioned dairy, but you can have dairy if you eat things like butter, yogurt, and aged cheeses, which, because they have the probiotics filled in the dairy, it's actually easier for your body to process. Again, all very just thinking about your digestive system and what's easier to process and what's not. And of course, as you continue on this diet, you'll notice your gut getting stronger. So I can actually come back if I do cheat, or if I do have like a cookie or something that's made with regular flour, I can come back from it a lot faster than I used to. My skin heals up a lot faster, and my whole body just comes back to normal a lot faster than when I was not on GAPS. So that's kind of some of the important things about it. A couple last things before I go, and then I will finish this video. Why do I feel so good on this diet? Honestly, I mean, like I said, it maximizes digestive issues and things like that. But when your digestive system is healthy, the rest of you is healthy. And when you think of food more as fuel, of course, but also the thing that causes your body, think of your body as like a machine. If you're using the right oil and the right gasoline for it, it can roll really smoothly and very efficiently. But if you're filling it with things that are maybe processed or very ill made oil, the machine will kind of be clunkier and it'll go more choppy. So just think of it in that way. That's the way I like to think of it, because it's easier for me to understand why this diet works really, really well for me. But like I said earlier, I don't think it's necessarily the only diet to be healthy. I think I used to think that for a while when I was on it for 2 years, because I had tried so many other things and this seemed to work best. But then I realized that everyone is different. Everyone's body, genetics, and DNA and everything is different. And I think everyone can be healthy, and it could be a different diet. I think, there's of course some wrong ways to do it, but there's no only one right way, I think, to be healthy. I think everyone's body will react to things different. For me, GAPS works the best, and I think just getting rid of the grains and the processed, overly processed, I should say, dairy and things like that, have really helped my stomach to just be way less bloated. I feel so energetic without having to worry about drinking coffee every day or any energy drinks like that. So it's a huge blessing not to worry about those things. Of course, if I want a cup of coffee, I'll drink a cup of coffee, but I don't need it to have my energy source. I know that if I get good rest and I eat this way, I feel 100% amazing. Now, that's not to say that, of course, I'm healthy all the time. It just means that I feel good most of the time, and I think that's what our goal should be with health, is feeling good most of the time. Because we're not perfect, no one is perfect, and no one can achieve a perfect diet every time. I mean, if you go on vacation, don't deprive yourself, eat some fun foods, don't worry about focusing so much on a really great diet on vacation. Just eat whatever, and come back and go right back to what you used to be. I think, having so much pressure on ourselves is what actually stops us from being the healthiest that we can be. So my camera looks like it's getting ready to shut down. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and that like button to let me know if you like this video. I hope you learned something in this video, and I can't wait to make more for you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. See you later.